Slide visible है?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So as you people remember, yesterday also we had discussed the same slide. We were discussing the various approaches of the functional genomics. We had studied yesterday that the various types of genomics. So we were discussing things like functional genomics, yeah, comparative genomics, etc. So first we will be discussing about the functional genomics. The first two headings we had already discussed, the homology searching as well as the protein structure. All right? Yes
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes,
Okay
sir.
then. Just a second, please. Yeah, now good to go. So these were the two approaches. Next, we will be coming on to the comparative genomics. As the word itself is saying, that is saying something related to comparison between the things. Okay. So what we do over here, the function says that the function annotation by domain conservation, conserved phylogeny or the conserved genomic organization. So what basically we do in the comparative genomics is हम लोग जो भी ये फंक्शनल यहाँ पर एनालाइज करते हैं तो हम लोग यहाँ पर ये असेस करेंगे कि जो भी आपकी डिफरेंट टाइप की जीन्स प्रेजेंट है, लेट्स से एक ही क्रोमोसोम पर आपकी 6 और 7 डिफरेंट टाइप्स की जीन्स हैं, तो हम उनके रिलेशन को यहाँ पर कंपेयर करके देख सकते हैं। साथ ही साथ हम लोगों ने कल एक एग्जांपल डिस्कस किया था दैट लाइक से वी हैव ए जीनोम सॉरी वी हैव ए जीन फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर एंजाइम, लेट्स से हेक्सोकाइनेज 1। Hexokinase 1, if you people remember, in our metabolic pathway of glycolysis, तो उसमें जो फर्स्ट रिएक्शन होती है दैट इज ग्लूकोज कन्वर्टेड टू ग्लूकोज 6 फॉस्फेट, दिस वाज अकम्पनीड बाय हेक्सोकाइनेज। ओके, तो इट
Yes.
इज ए काइनेज एंजाइम which were responsible for fixing phosphate group. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
as you remember that हेक्सोकाइनेज के हमारे बहुत सारे सब टाइप्स थे। हेक्सोकाइनेज फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ आपने बताया भी था कि अलग अलग आपके टाइप की सेल्स में मिलती हैं। लाइक यूजुअली आपकी मसल सेल्स में एक अलग टाइप का हेक्सोकाइनेज मिलता है, लिवर में एक अलग टाइप का हेक्सोकाइनेज मिलता है, जस्ट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रेट ऑफ द रिएक्शन कि आप किस रेट से उस रिएक्शन को कराना चाहते हैं। तो उस एंजाइम की स्पेसिफिसिटी चेंज करके हम उसके रेट को ऑल्टर कर सकते हैं। क्लियर? तो इन दी कंपैरेटिव जीनोमिक्स वी में आइडेंटिफाई कि इनके जो रेट है एक्सप्रेशन का उसमें कितना फ़र्क है, इनके जो प्रोडक्ट है, जो प्रोटियोम बन रहा है, जो प्रोटीन उसका बन रहा है, उस पर्टिकुलर जीन से जो आपका प्रोटीन सिंथेसाइज हो रहा है, उनके अंदर कितने डिफरेंसेस हैं। सो व्हाट बेसिकली इन कंपैरेटिव जीनोमिक्स वी डू, वी कंप्लीटली आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट आर द बेसिक differences between the genes. All right. So coming next on to the expression analysis. So what basically is expression analysis? हम लोग यहाँ पर देखते हैं कि प्रोटीन का सॉरी जीन का जो एक्सप्रेशन है, जो उससे प्रोटीन बन रहा है, उसके अंदर उसके क्या क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है जो कि हम लोगों को ऑब्जर्व करनी है। ठीक है, एक जीन है उसका एक्सप्रेशन बहुत ज़्यादा हाई है जबकि दूसरी जीन का एक्सप्रेशन कम है, या फिर एक जीन के एक्सप्रेशन की वजह से दूसरी जीन के एक्सप्रेशन पर फर्क पड़ता है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम लोग यहाँ पर एक्सप्रेशन एनालिसिस के अंदर स्टडी करेंगे। ठीक है। Next, what we see is we see about mutagenesis, that how, when and where the mutations occur, और उन म्यूटेशन से आपके जीन के एक्सप्रेशन पर, आपके जीनोम की स्टेबिलिटी पर क्या इसका इफेक्ट आता है। ठीक है। सो बेसिकली हम लोग देखते हैं कि हम किसी एक पर्टिकुलर जीन के किसी कुछ पर्टिकुलर साइट से इनको हम रेगुलेट करते हैं या उनको हम उनके साथ में हम मैनिपुलेशन करते हैं, तो हम उन जीन्स को या तो स्विच ऑन कर सकते हैं, उनको हम कॉन्जिक्यूटिवली स्विच ऑन करके छोड़ सकते हैं, या फिर हम उनको कम्प्लीटली स्विच ऑफ कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, इसी तरीके से हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे अपने एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन भी किए हैं जहाँ हमने नॉकआउट माइस का क्रिएशन किया था, वो भी हम लोग देखेंगे अपने सिलेबस के अंदर। तो दिस इज ऑल व्हाट वी ऑब्जर्व इन द फंक्शनल जीनोमिक अप्रोच, दैट इज योर म्यूटाजेनेसिस। नेक्स्ट कम्स यार प्रोटीन इंटरेक्शन स्क्रीनिंग। यहाँ हम लोग जीनोमिक्स का थोड़ा सा प्रोटियोमिक्स वाला सेक्शन भी एसोसिएट करके देखते हैं। यहाँ भी देखते हैं कि जो भी आपका एक प्रोटीन है उसका आपके जीन के साथ में क्या इंटरेक्शन है। लेट्स से आपने बहुत सारे एंजाइम्स पढ़े हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रोटीन्स पढ़े हैं विच कम एंड गेट एसोसिएटेड विद योर डीएनए एंड हेल्प इन इट्स रेगुलेशन, है ना। उसको डीएनए को कई बार वो टर्न ऑन कराएंगे, उसकी एक्सप्रेशन को स्विच ऑन कर देंगे या फिर उसको स्विच ऑफ कर देंगे। सो व्हाट आर दीज प्रोटीन्स एंड हाउ आर दे रेगुलेटिंग द जीन एक्सप्रेशन? So we will be identifying in the approach named as protein interaction screening. And at last we will see some other molecules and its informatics. Informatics means some simply हम उसके computational system के साथ में associate करके हम उनका interaction देखते हैं। लाइक बहुत सारी जगह हमने देखा है कि जरूरी नहीं है कोई प्रोटीन है, कोई एक सिंपल सा आयन आया है, उस आयन ने आकर के आपके जीन एक्सप्रेशन को ऑल्टर कर दिया है, उसको बहुत ज्यादा एनहेंस कर दिया है, बहुत ज्यादा डिक्रीज डाउन कर दिया है, उसको सप्रेस कर दिया है। सो नॉट ओनली प्रोटीन्स बट वी विल आल्सो बी ऑब्जर्विंग वेरियस आयंस। ठीक है। As you already know that the DNA which is comprising genes is also affected by it, it is itself carrying what negatively charged per unit nucleotide, है ना। So in a similar fashion, if positively charged or another negatively charged particle is present into the system, so it might affect the expression or the DNA. All right. So we will see these kind of interactions. Moving ahead. So next we'll be discussing about your structural genomics. I hope you now have a clear idea what basically is structural genomics. In structural genomics, the it seeks to describe the three-dimension or the 3D structure of the protein as well as the histone as well as non-histone proteins which are associated to the DNA and comprising the complete of your genome. So in structural genomics, we'll completely be describing the whole of the three-dimensional structure of your DNA, of your genes, of your associated proteins like the histone as well as other associated proteins. The next point says that this genome-based approach allows for a high throughput method of structure determination by a combination of experimental and modeling approaches. Like in your molecular biology, you might have studied that the a simple alteration in the gene structure or in the structure of the DNA will affect the expression rate of that particular gene or that particular segment of DNA. So how and why this is occurring, we'll be able to answer after getting an insight into this particular structural genomics. All right.
Yes, sir.
Next, we will also be observing some variations like epigenetics, epigenomics, etc. So, what basically is epigenomics? In epigenomics, we are going to observe firstly that the epigenomics is the study of the complete set of the epigenetic modification. What is epigenetics? Wherein one gene is affecting another gene. All right, or the another factor, or the you can say that the environment is changing the gene expression. So, something that is not governed by the gene directly, it is known as epigenetic. So in epigenomics, we are going to see the whole of the set of the epigenetic modifications. Okay. If we are comprising only of one gene and we are observing the other additional environmental related or other sort of the changes in the expression which are not governed directly by that gene, that means epigenetic. And once you are observing whole of the lot of that these kind of epigenetic changes or epigenetic modifications, then it is due to it is going to affect the whole of the genome. So that is why now it will not be called as epigenetic, else it will be called as epigenomic modification. All right. So what we do in epigenomics, we are going to study the complete set of the epigenetic modification on the genetic material of a cell, which is classified as a or defined as epigenomics. Coming on to the next point, the two of the most characterized epigenetic modifications are DNA methylation and histone modification. As I have already told you that the main things responsible for alteration in the structure will be either the DNA will get methylated. So at some point of time, the DNA methylation may signal as switching off of the gene, whereas in other instances, we have also observed that DNA once methylated may help in overexpression or higher expression of that particular gene sequence. So how are we going to know that if this particular DNA segment has been methylated, it is going to overexpress or it is going to suppress its expression? So it depends on which particular site it is being methylated. Like say, as you know that for your what for synthesis of RNA or the transcription of your DNA segment, your RNA polymerase has to bind your DNA, right? So if the this particular methylation occurs exactly at the precise position where the RNA polymerase had to bind, so will it be able to bind? No, it is not able to bind now and to the DNA and what transcribe your DNA. So it is going to suppress. Whereas if this DNA methylation occurs at a site where it is helping this RNA polymerase to better bind to your DNA. So now what is going to occur? Now this DNA methylation is helping the transcription process. All right. So in both the cases, you have got an idea that how DNA methylation can help in switching off or switching on this the particular expression. Similar is the DNA histone modifications. If these histone proteins are tightly bound and their tails are what tightly tangled together, so it will make a bit difficult for the process of transcription to occur. In a similar fashion, if these histone are what these are somewhat loose and somewhat readily what dissociating from the DNA, making it what nakedly available to the modification enzymes. So not only modification but also transcription enzyme. So what is going to do? It is easily going to transcribe, and most of our what homeostatic or the housekeeping genes, they are always in the loosely histone bound state, so that they are readily available to the these expression mechanism or the expression machinery of the what are uh, of a cell. All right. So I hope you have understood these two points. Moving ahead, हम लोग बात करें अगर मेटा जीनोमिक्स की, तो मेटा जीनोमिक्स क्या आपकी फील्ड है ये, which basically describes that the environmental shotgun sequencing. हम अगर एक ये shotgun sequencing एक आपकी sequencing methodology है, ठीक है, इसका हम बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं आपके मेटाजीनोमिक्स के अंदर, ठीक है। अब आप देखो इसके अंदर आपको अलग अलग पॉइंट्स दिए हुए हैं ए बी सी डी ई एफ, तो हम सबसे पहले क्या करते हैं, हम हर एक टोटल जो इसका अलग अलग सेक्शन है हम सभी को एनालाइज करते हैं। सबसे पहला होता है वी आर गोइंग टू सैम्पल दी हैबिटेट। सबसे पहले हम जो भी उसका नेचर है, जो भी उसका एनवायरमेंट है, उसके बारे में हम उसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन को गैदर करते हैं। हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सैम्पल फ्रॉम हैबिटेट। सेकंड कम्स फिल्टरिंग द पार्टिकल्स एंड टिपिकली बाय देयर साइजेस, तो हम उनको पार्टिकल साइजेस के बेसिस पे उनको हम सेपरेट डाउन कर लेते हैं। फिर हम सेल को लाइज डाउन करेंगे और उसके डीएनए से हम उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लेते हैं। जब हमने एक बार एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लिया तो हम उसकी फिर क्लोनिंग करके लाइब्रेरी कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं। आई होप यू हैव ऑलरेडी रेड एंड अंडरस्टूड दिस अंडर योर आरडीटी। आरडीटी तो आप लोगों ने पढ़ लिया है ना?
Yes, sir.
So you must have an idea about the cloning and the library construction by now. So next, what we are going to do, we are going to sequence, and we have already generated clone. Now we are going to sequence them so that we have ample amount of DNA and we can get the what complete sequence of that particular organism. Once this approach has been done, what we are going to do, we are going to sequence the assembly into the contains and scaffolds. So ultimately, after doing this, we will be having the complete sequence of that particular organism. So this is how the metagenomic approaches work. All right. Next and last one comes your pharmacogenomics. What do we do in pharmacogenomics? You have already observed yesterday that we had associated your genomics approaches with your pharmacological sciences. So it is really emerging out to be a boon for the mankind, because by this we are readily able to capable of what identifying the proteins that are causing the disease, and we are also able to find out compounds or the molecules, or we are going to design the drug molecules for our for treating that particular disease. So the first point over here says it is a study of how variation in the human population correlates with the drug response pattern. As you might have observed that we let's say that we have identified a new compound which I am proposing it to be a what a medicine for some particular disease. So what may happen is I am going to what I'm going to prescribe this particular drug molecule to one patient, and I am observing that this patient has overcome his disease and is now healthy. But if the same drug molecule is what it is prescribed to some other individual, but that individual becomes more sick. So this simply means that there is some variation in its mode of action, and which is not suitable for all. So to avoid such kind of thing, what we do a large group of study. As you might have observed it, that we had done the clinical trials, and after clinical trials, we had proceeded to what the human trials. And once the human trials were over, that took approximately 5 to 20 years. And once we had not observed any kind of symptoms or any kind of side effects, then only that medication was available into the market. All right. So this is the same approach that we do in the field of pharmacogenomics. Next comes the next point says the analysis of the genomic data and its comparison with the drug response data allows patients to be clustered into the drug response group. Like some patients are what they are responding to this particular drug, some patients are not. So and we have another compound P, that again is given to group B, that is responding, but the first group is not responding. So in this way we can categorize that which drugs are what suitable for which kind of people. All right. So in this way we can classify, we can group them and identify the reason for which the drug was not responding. All right. So that the appropriate drugs and the doses the gene can be administered. So we will what we will try to either modify the structure of the drug so that it binds well to their target receptors. Otherwise we are going to alter its doses. Some for some people the low doses will be sufficient, and for other higher doses of that said particular drug will be sufficient to elicit a response. The last point says that the variation is cataloged by analyzing data on mutation, that is particularly by single nucleotide polymorphism and the gene expression profiles. This is something that we had already discussed yesterday, that by single nucleotide polymorphism we are going to identify that the gene sequence is slightly different, and ultimately the protein produced by it is also different, and ultimately due to these changes we observe variations. Okay, so this is also being cataloged by the pharmacogenomics. So moving ahead, we are now going to observe the genomic information in the medicine. As you can see over here, it is a small chip. Okay, this is also known as the microarray or the microchip. As you can see, it is a small area where we have hundreds and thousands of minute wells which have been created, and each well is comprising a tiny section of your genome, that is a small DNA stretch, and this DNA stretch might be containing one gene to various other genes. We usually try to keep only one gene in one particular segment, and as you can see a enlarged image over here, so this image is showing you that the expression pattern. I will teach this particular technique, the microarray technique, to you in detail, but once you know it, then you will be able to know that how we are going to check the expression of that particular gene, and on the basis of these expressions we might diagnose the various kind of diseases that the individual is what suffering with, or the patient in future might suffer from that particular disease. So this particular thing we are going to observe from it. Similar various other diagnostic approaches are also available, like we can directly check its gene expression or the by referring to its RNA that is being produced, and also we can observe it on its protein level, that is under the field of proteomics. All right, so these are all your therapeutic based approach which are based on genomics or the genomic information. Similarly, the various other approaches that are not based on directly on protein or the gene expression, but how are we going to treat this particular disease? These are novel therapeutics. So first, first of all, we can create the drug molecules which have precise targets. Okay, so this word is important, that the precise targeted drugs can be discovered, so that the larger doses need not to be administered, and very minute doses are sufficient to elicit the drug response. Okay, similarly rational drug designing can be done. We can design a drug molecule that is absolutely precisely functional, and it is going to what it is going to initiate a higher response into the organism. Similarly, molecular docking studies can be done. Molecular docking means how this particular molecule is going to associate with its what other counterpart onto its receptor, and how this receptor is going to what uh, how this particular receptor is going to elicit response when this molecular uh, the drug molecule is associated with this. And last comes your gene therapy. What basically is gene therapy? Gene therapy is the correction of the incorrect or the defective gene, and once this gene has been corrected, then now the individual will be free from that particular disorder or the disease which was to occur during the span of his life. Similar is your stem cell therapy. In stem cell therapy, we target the stem cell, we use it and differentiate it into what another type of healthy adult cell that is now capable of performing its function. So in stem cell therapy also, we are going to perform similar kind of therapies. Now, at last, we might be able to what check the metabolism and correct the diseases that are related to it. For this, we have already we are into the phase of development of various databases. So, like OMIM, है ना? ये this is your metabolic related like database है, which is comprising the information related to inherited diseases. Okay, so by these means we are able to treat them and correct them. Similar, we have various information related to infectious diseases, like we have information related to pathogenic bacteria, how this bacteria is going to affect, what kind of their gene products are being synthesized during the course of the disease. Similar is for the viruses, as we are observing in this current pandemic situation, that how these viruses are going to affect. We already had various information related to this particular class of the coronavirus, the classical coronavirus, and we had observed the various changes that are now seen in this new COVID-19 virus. है ना? So similarly, we can identify these metabolic changes, and accordingly we are going to treat them. I hope this much thing is clear to you all.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm going with a rapid pace because I have to rush up with the syllabus. I'm wanting to initiate with your unit one quickly. All right. So
Yes, sir.
along with this, we are going to observe the various applications of the genomics. The first application simply says that we are going to identify the comparison of the new nucleic acid sequences which are being observed. Similarly, I hope first point is already clear to you all, that what are the new nucleic acid sequences and how they will be different from the classical ones. Next comes your analysis of the gene expression profile, how one of your gene is been expressing and how it is going to affect the your profile. Next comes your database of the model organism, how this model organism database has been created, and once it has been available, so we can simply identify that what all changes it is going to what offer. All right, and what are the specific drug targets and which gene should be opted for functioning. Next point comes here hunting for the disease related genes. Once we have identified the genes, like we say we have a oncogene or a proto oncogene. All right. So we, if we observe such kind of genes into an individual, then that individual is what prone to chances of cancer during the span of his or her life. So these are some cases. Similarly, next point is analysis of the genes related to the drug action. ऊपर वाले में we have identified disease related genes, and in the next one we are identifying genes related to drug action. That if this individual is having this kind of gene sequence, then which kind of drug molecule or which kind of the drug design is going to be more effective on that particular individual. Last point is the screening of the poisonous side effect genes. Okay, so if these kind of genes are present, then it is going to affect the drug molecule or the target drug. So we are going to screen the poisonous side effects genes, which are going to which might even be lethal in some cases. All right. Next is the impact of the genomics on the medicine. How are we going to characterize new genes we can identify from it? What are the new treatments that can be discovered, and how do we treat the individual patients? And accordingly, we can tailor the treatment for specific individuals. All right. I think we have already sufficiently discussed all of these points. So I'm quickly
Yes,
just
sir.
moving ahead. Next is the future of pharma informatics. What basically is pharma informatics? How do we do? Now you already have got an idea, so you can simply take a snap of this slide and we'll discuss it later. All right.
Okay.
Next, the targets for the industry. The industry is basically targeting for the specific genes and the related proteins, so that various of our proteins can be produced. All right. The next point in this slide is saying that that is 25 times the number of the drug targets that we have been evaluated by the companies since the dawn of this industry. So you can imagine 25 times the number of these drug targets will be available by the help of the genomics as well as proteomics in future. So with this, I am ending this particular what your topic, and I'll be moving ahead to your syllabus, the unit one of your course. So we were already discussing about the origin of the genomics, and now we'll be discussing the first DNA genomes. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay then.